All right, guys. Sorry for the connection issue there. I didn't even think my video's turned on, so I'm sure you guys want to see me as well. So you can look at both of our lovely faces. So before we lost connection, Riley, we were talking about your meet, what your total was. So what is your bench, squat, and dead total right now? What are you anticipating for the meet?
So my bench squat and dead total right now, I'm still coming off the strength loss from the bodybuilding show, obviously. So my previous best, like I said, were like a 450 squat, a 300 bench, and a 500 deadlift. I would be happy re-hitting that at the meet. So that I think that's like an 1150-ish total. I'd be happy hitting that at the meet. I'd be happy hitting around 12, anywhere around 12. I think right now, the last time I tested, which was a few months ago, so it's definitely higher than that now, was around a 365 squat, which is just poverty for me, a 455 deadlift, and a 280 bench-ish. So, again, coming off that bodybuilding show, lost a lot of strength, but we're getting it back. It's coming back very quickly.
Good.
I'm hitting PRs pretty much every week, so as long as it continues in that way, I should be good. The only issue is, sorry, bronchitis.
Bronchitis coming in clutch.
Yeah. The only issue is I did injure my erector, my left erector, a couple weeks ago, so I'm kind of rehabbing that now. But the deadlift has always been my strongest lift, so I'm not worried. I think it will come back pretty quickly. So
awesome, hell yeah! So let's switch gears real quick. I wanna go more into social media.
Sure.
Because I think this is an area where a lot of people, I know we spoke about briefly a little bit ago through YouTube and stuff like that, but I want to focus more on what do you think of social media, and let's start there. What do you think of social media, and then I'll spin it in their direction.
I honestly think social media is everything now, and I mean, as bad as that sounds, I think that if you want a successful business, you have to run a successful social media. If you want to meet people, you have to be on social media. If you like, as weird as it sounds, I think that, and especially coming from me, because like social media is a huge part of my life, I think that it is almost as important as having proper social skills is to be able to manipulate your social media in the way that you want. And not saying that people can't survive without it. Obviously you can. It's not all consuming, but in what we do and sort of in our industry, social media is of huge importance. Like you just can't get around it at this point.
Yeah, it's definitely, some of the stuff on there is scary, but some of the other stuff is worthwhile and useful. Which brings me to and we've lost someone. And what are the top 3 tips that you can give someone to say, hey, take these 3 tips, use them to grow your social media, that it can make it better?
Again, I got to go back to be consistent. That's the biggest one. I mean, if you can't commit to like maybe 4 YouTube videos a week or 3 minimum, and like say 3 Instagram posts a day and like a couple tweets, like that's the bare minimum. You know what I mean? Like you have to be consistent. As for presence, I mean, definitely make yourself, like I said, have a niche. I don't really have one, but I think that it benefits you greatly to have a niche. Like if you guys know my buddy Danny, Danny Gets Fit, he was here for a while. He stayed with me in Toronto. His niche is weight loss, right? And there's no one really doing weight loss at that level except for like him and John, Obese to Beast. So like that's a niche. Weight loss is a niche. Or again, I'll go back to Travis. Like Travis is a businessman. He has a full-time job. Same with Brandon Campbell. That's their niche. You know what I mean? They work a full-time job. And Tim Thibodeau, they work a full-time job and YouTube is their side thing. So like have a niche, stick to it. Or don't, but have something that you are like, that's who you are. You know what I mean? Again, have a niche. Third and final thing, I would say, don't create, just because you have a niche, don't create an alter ego. And like be who you are in real life, be that person on the internet. Because if you're fake on the internet and people meet you in real life, it's not only disheartening, it's just annoying. Yeah. It's like, oh, I watch this guy all the time, I really like him, like blah, blah, blah. And you meet him and you're like, I despise you. Like you are just a horrible person. And it's sad because like these might be people you look up to. These might be people that have shaped what you have done on YouTube or on Instagram or on social media in general. And then you meet them and you're like, oh, you aren't at all what I thought you were going to be. You're just terrible. And it feels bad because like you've based maybe your entire social media career around these people and then they just they let you down.
Yeah.
That would be my third tip: is definitely be real with people. Don't lie about who you are just for views, like, because it's not real. You know what I mean? It doesn't. You can't. That doesn't last. So.
Sweet. So, along with social media and things like that, shoot, I lost my train of thought. Hold on. So, I just had a great point I was gonna make, and it's completely gone out the way. Okay, got it. So, YouTube. We both make videos here. Is YouTube your full-time gig?
Essentially, because I'll go over basically what I do. Is I do online coaching. I don't market it through YouTube. All of my clients are basically like, yeah, in my Instagram account it does say email me if you want online coaching, but I've never really mentioned it and been like, oh, I'm an online coach, because I started online coaching actually before I started YouTube. So I was actually coaching people in my hometown, but I was writing them programs and nutrition through email without actually knowing what, like, quote unquote online coaching was that everybody else does. So like then I got on and I was like, oh, everybody's an online coach, so I'm not going to come out and be like, hey, like, I'm an online coach too. So I don't really market it. That is part of my income. I work a day job. I work for a packing and shipping company. It's really boring, but it pays for YouTube, which is basically my main hobby other than lifting. So I don't really make a lot of money off of YouTube, and I think that anybody who's on YouTube understands that. You really don't make a lot of money making videos. Even the big guys, it's not as lucrative as you'd think it was unless you have a side business like a clothing brand or like online coaching or like something like that. Then it becomes a little bit more lucrative. Other than that, the main plan is within a couple years is to open a gym.
Nice.
That has always been my plan, and that is kind of why I'm on YouTube, because I want to have all of these people who I know who can, when I do open my gym, I can be like, oh, let's go. Fly out, let's lift, let's get collabs in, because once you have your own space and people see that, they want to be a part of it. Look at the online coach. Look at his gym. How many people do you know who've gone to the campus? Look at Christian. Look at Alpha Lead. People go there because of the name, and it's just such a cool atmosphere. And you can't help but go there and feel awesome because, like, oh, I'm at the campus, or I'm at Alpha Lead headquarters. Like, let's lift, let's go crazy. And I want that. I want to build my presence on social media to the point where, like, people are like, oh, we're at Blackdogg, let's go. Like, let's lift. People hit PRs because it's just such a cool environment. And that's really what I'm passionate about, which is actually why I have to go back to school, because there's like a thing in Canada. And look, I'm going to say this right off the bat. I do not advocate college for people like us, because I went to college and I dropped out. So that's just the bottom line. But in Canada, when you go and you want a loan from a bank, you actually have to have some credibility behind you. And they basically said, here's what we can give you without a college degree, and here's what we can give you if you go get a degree. And literally the degree program I'm taking is a 1-year program, and it's a difference of a lot of money. So it's kind of worth it for me.
Wow, it's definitely different than here in the States.
Yeah.
It's your credit score or bust. That's pretty much it.
And that's crazy how different it is.
Yeah, that's crazy. But at least it, from a perspective of how you're going to use the money, it's like you kind of have to use it in the right way. At least they know. At least the Canadian government knows that, with that degree, you'll be able to, with that knowledge, to use the money properly.
Or so they think.
Yeah, at least so they think.
Do I think that I'm going to be much more qualified after a year of school than I am now? No. Does the Canadian government think so? Maybe. Do they want my money? Yes. Yeah. So really, it boils down to that.
So going into the future, you want to open up your own gym. So for people who are watching you, watching us, and watching other people in the space, what are tips that you can give them to, essentially make YouTube, let's say, their full-time gig, or they want to create a business out of something? What are some of the things you learned? Obviously, with online coaching, now you're going back to school to learn this stuff. What are some of the hurdles and stuff you figured out along the way to help you realize what your end goal was, or end goal is going to be?
Well, first of all, don't come into YouTube thinking you're going to make a ton of money, because you're not. Come into YouTube because you like making videos and you like informing people and you like helping people. That's why you should be getting onto YouTube. If you're getting onto YouTube with the sole mindset of, I'm gonna get what's the word I'm looking for? I'm gonna get sponsored. I'm gonna make a lot of money. I'm gonna get a lot of free clothes and supplements. Don't, because one, it will reflect itself in your content. It will be very clear that that's why you're doing what you're doing, And when you're at 100 subscribers and all of a sudden, boom, you snap up a sponsorship just because they offered it to you, and all of a sudden you're stuck in a contract where you get screwed, it's your own fault because you were hungry for money and you were hungry for subscribers. I would say that if you want to make YouTube your full-time job, you better have, like I said, a niche, you better be consistent, and you better put in some damn work, and you better have a side gig. Like, you better have something, like I said, online coaching, a clothing company. I don't even think Max Tuning does online coaching, and like you can say whatever you want about Max Tuning, but that guy knows how to run a clothing company.
He hustles.
Everything he buys, he sells out of, which, like, I mean, that's lucrative. Mm-hmm. And he still has a full-time job, and YouTube is technically his job, but he also has a full-time job. So even the people that are big on YouTube are still working full-time. So just keep that in mind. People with hundreds of thousands of subscribers are still busting their ass at their day job. So I can't really advise that you drop out of, or not even drop out. I can advise that, but I can't advise you drop your full-time job and just jump into YouTube unless you really think you've got a shot and you have a genuine plan. Like, if you come into this and you're like, okay, I'm gonna sell clothes and I'm gonna sell online coaching. Do I have a base market? Okay, I have a base market. Okay, I've sold this many. Okay, now I can quit my job. Now I have a base income. Now we're good.
Yeah. So from a business perspective, you reading any books? You studying anyone in specific to learn from? Within our space, like a Christian Guzman or a Raymond from the Online Coach. Who are you studying right now to help you get you where you want to be?
I've been looking at the Online Coach a lot just because he sort of follows a lot more the way that I want to do it, and his gym is sort of what I'm basing my model off of. I do honestly believe that Christian he's smart, you know what I mean? Like, I can't deny that he's smart, but the way he did it is a little different than the way that I want to do it, just because he has such a huge space, and he's got the clothing company, and he's got all this stuff that he's kind of doing, and like, his situation is a lot different than mine, whereas I think I'm a little bit closer to the Online Coach's situation, where he literally owns a gym. Like, that's his full-time job, you know what I mean? And is it a great lucrative business? No, but it makes him happy, and that's really why I want to do it, is because it truly makes me happy to see other people succeed. So seeing people come into a gym and every day get better and better and better and better, like, that's what I want. So, and that's literally what the Online Coach, what Raymond says. He's like, seeing people change every day is payment enough. And like, I've said it for a million years, like, if I have to, I'll sleep on the floor for the first 3 years, sleep on the floor of my gym if it gets it off the ground. Like, I don't care. Like, I would do literally anything to get it going. And that's why I think that YouTube is such a good thing for me, because people may not know who I am all over the place. There are a few. Like, there are a few people in Toronto who have been like, hey, I watch you on YouTube. And I'm like, wow, that's mind-blowing. And it's like, they're like, you should open your gym. Like, I would come 100%. It's like, okay, there's a client right there. There's a customer. And it's like, this opens up so many more business opportunities that you wouldn't even get because you're not out on social media. It almost makes the networking easier because, like you said, it's face-to-face all the time. Like, you can connect with so many people.
So you're studying the Online Coach. You're studying obviously studying different people in our space. Are you reading any books, or are you, like, have you ran any numbers to figure out how you want to open up this gym, what it's going to take you? I know Canadian US dollar is a little different, but just to put people in perspective, what it's going to take you to get you into the space you want to be.
Okay, so basically, to get into the space I want to be, I'm going to need to cover all my equipment and everything like that, I'm thinking like 50 grand can cover equipment, all that stuff. I've decided against buying a location just because buying in Canada is weird, and like, you have to buy for a certain reason, and it's really screwed up. But like, in order to buy a gym, I would have to buy like the gym plus the renovations plus this, and it's like a various amount of laws, as opposed to renting. If I rent space, a lot of it comes with it. So like, I can charge in my rental fee, I can charge for flooring, so rubber flooring for the gym. So it's a little different. But I haven't been reading any books as of yet, but I'm following Nick Bear. Okay. If you guys watch Nick Bear, Bear Performance Nutrition, he's actually opening a gym right now. He's just getting out of the army, so he's a little bit different than me, but he is like on track. Like, that's what he wants to do. He's writing out everything. I actually got the website that I'm running my business plan, or my pricing through my business plan. I forget what it's called. It's tabbed on my computer, but it's behind the Skype screen, so I can't really pull it up. And so I'm running it through there, and I completely learned that from him. And he's a really smart guy, and he's kind of showing you tips of how to, like, oh, we can cut this cost if we do it this way. We can do this if we do it this way. And it's like, It's smart, but it is going to cost me a lot of money and probably take me the next 3 years, which I'm fine with. I don't care. But as for like startup costs, I'm thinking equipment 50,000 and then the rest about 40 to 50,000. So it's gonna cost me about 100 grand, I think, off the bat, which is a huge upfront cost. But again, I'll sleep on the floor if I have to.
Yeah. Your mindset is you know it's gonna work out. It's eventually gonna work itself out. It doesn't matter how long it's gonna take. You know you're gonna go into some debt. You know shit's gonna happen, but
life's gonna happen, man. I mean,
you just don't know, man. Like money comes and goes. You know it's here and there, and then you know from talking to you, the energy you're giving off, and I know it's gonna be a success. I can already tell you. Like,
well, if you love it, I mean, you're more likely to stick with it, and this is all I've ever wanted to do. So
there you go. That's the invested interest right there. So I wanna finish this off with just a few simple questions that I kind of have thoughts in my head. They may be repeats, but I just want to get it all out there.
Yeah, shoot.
So if you were to go back and start this process all over, what would you do different?
It's funny. I was thinking about this today. I would get lean first and bulk a hell of a lot slower than I did.
Okay.
I would be in a surplus for all of high school. I would never have cut through high school. I would have cut grade 8, got down to where I was comfortable with myself, and then I would have literally been in a surplus until my first bodybuilding show, because I honestly think I wasted my newbie gains like crazy. So.
It happens. So from a physical perspective, you would have done things differently. Social media wise, how would you have done things differently?
Definitely would have started earlier. Again, if I knew, I would have been on there as soon as possible. I would have ran my Instagram a lot stronger than I did. I didn't really even put any effort into Instagram until like the Arnold. Until we were hanging out with Yami and Taz and all them, and they were like, you got to put some more effort into your Instagram because it's lagging behind your YouTube. And I was like, that's fair. So I've really been putting it up. I finally got over 1,000 followers on Instagram, which is like, I should have been way higher if I would have been putting in the actual effort, but whatever. It is what it is. So I definitely would have put more time into my Instagram, and I would have learned to edit a lot sooner, because if you go back and watch my first videos, it's a lot of just like me talking and then there being like a long pause, and then I turn off the camera and then it's the next clip. Right.
Hell yeah. So then lastly, if you can give one tip of advice to, I know we spoke about consistency, finding a niche and being you. If you can give one tip of advice to that person who is thinking about starting a channel, or is, like, I don't know if I should do this, or is, like contemplating where to put up their first video. I know you said, don't think about just doing it, come to the space something different. What would be your advice to them from a motivational perspective, as opposed to, hey, here's these tips, let's go?
What can you really lose? Like, be honest with yourself. What can you really lose by putting up that video? Could a couple people make fun of you? Yeah. Does it really matter? Like, if you think about it, when you're about to click that video, you're about to click upload on that video, the only thing that can happen is a person can watch it, and then another person can watch it. And then maybe you like that and you make another video. That's the only thing. But if you never upload that first video, you can't possibly start it. If Christian didn't upload his first video, if Chris Jones didn't upload his first video, if August didn't upload his first video, they would be nothing right now. Literally nothing.
Exactly.
Like, people are created through social media, and I think that the only thing that you have to do is try. And yeah, I said, make sure you know this, make sure you do this. And that's the optimal way to do it. But if you never actually start, you never get anywhere. So go for it.
Well, Riley, I just want to say thank you for letting us all in on your whole life story. He has a powerlifting meet in August. He is going to be opening up his own gym in the next couple years, and he's a good friend of mine. I'm glad to call you my friend. So, Riley, thank you so much, and I can't wait to do this again. And let's say let's do it again before your meet, because I think that's going to be very interesting. You're definitely going to be in the zone. Things are going to be getting ready to go, and I'm 100% sure things are going to be on the up and up come July.
Sounds absolutely perfect. Thank you so much for having me on the podcast. Next time I will try to be in a little bit better lighting, and I will try not be in a sushi coma. So thank you so much for having me, dude. Yeah, it was a blast. We'll do it again for sure.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed this episode, go follow Riley. Awesome, man. I'm going to link all his stuff down below. If you came here from Instagram, let me know in the comment section below. If you came here from Snapchat, whatever those social medias you guys all follow us on, let us know. I'm going to link all his stuff down below so you can go follow him, putting out some amazing content. And yeah, so Riley, thank you so much. Look forward to doing this again. And
can't wait, man.
Hell yeah.